Okay, we can start.
Hi again, sorry for the trouble. My name is Aditya and this is Vaishnavi. We have design students who have worked with the visually impaired for more than a year. And we have our advisor, Mohammad Al-Sharkawi, who is the professor at IUPUI.
Silent now, as opposed to when the Saints have the ball. Oh, look at this run! What a run! Marshawn Lynch! Still on his feet! Has blockers now! He's dancing his way for the touchdown!
Let me begin by asking you this question. Why does one go to the stadium? Is it only to watch the match? No. It is to be a part of a collective experience, to be a part of the eruption of crowd on a pass meeting the right player. No matter who you are or where you come from, this can truly be a memorable experience. But sadly, current accessibility options for the visually impaired are limited and non-inclusive. They're limited to their sense of hearing or relying on volunteers to guide them through the game. According to the National Federation of Blind, there are approximately 7.2 million visually impaired Americans, and in our research, we found approximately 80% of that population follows the NFL. Our solution proposes to create a more inclusive experience for them. Let's take a look at a simulation of our idea. So here's the prototype of how the box, and these are the visually impaired hands. The dent on the surface is the feedback of football moving that you'll see in the video ahead. And the concentric circles that you'll also see are indicating Vibro tactile feedback, which implies tackles. There's a live match-to-match.
Silent now, as opposed to when the Saints have the ball. Oh, look at this run! What a speed! Has blockers now. He's dancing his way for the touchdown.
So that was a superimposed live match, and our solution and how the blind participants can trace the ball movements and understand the different tackles and impacts involved in American football as they're moving along. Let's look at how does this work. Movement of the ball and the players are tracked with transmitters embedded in the ball and camera that captures the player movement. This data capture is transmitted wirelessly, and the moments are translated into coordinates, which are then translated on our box, which the visually impaired can feel. There were a few initial designs which we explored for the box, as you can see in the presentation. So embossed markings in Braille can denote the different numbers for those particular lines, and those lines can also be embossed. By embossed, I mean that could come a bit up on the surface, so the participant, so the blind users can feel the lines as they're tracing the ball movement. Can we go on the next slide? So in order to make this design into a reality, we propose a 3-study plan. In the first study, we want to explore different scenarios in understanding how is the interaction with the different vibrotactile feedback for the blind participants. In the next study, we want to design and develop these feedback into something we call as translations. And in the third study, we want to validate the design prototype with the usability testing with blind participants. So let's go into the business model a bit. Who are we selling this to? We are selling this to stadiums such as AT&T Stadium, the Bank of America Stadium, or the Lucas Oil Stadium. Why would they want to buy it? It is to increase the brand value. In our research, we found out that a lot of younger crowd is not going to the stadiums anymore. And stadiums are constantly coming up with ways to increase this engagement with this demographic. They're coming up with different AR stadiums. We hope that creating not just an accessible, but also an immersive experience for a certain demographic would also relate to the younger crowd. And that would help bring them in, that can increase the ticket sale cost. What are the key activities that are required to make this a reality? Understanding the different tactile feedback, interviewing with blind participants to understand what works, partnerships, setting up an IoT system, hiring computer and electrical engineers to build the box. The resources required are a high-speed internet, hardware components and raw material, the infrastructure to set up this box in the stadiums to test out, audio commentary in the future, thinking about scalability, The partners required for this would be football stadium, the broadcasting channels for the cameras, radio channels for the live commentary, and the Bosma Training Institute for the blind for the participants. Having said that, we are asking for $10,000 for a timeline of 6 months. It's divided into gift card for 20 blind participants with $80 per participant, coming up to $1,600 for a period of 6 months. Hiring the electrical and computer engineers for around $6,040, and an approximate hardware cost of $2,000. So approximately a total of $10,000. Our estimate of return of investment would be 100%. We are estimating $500 as the cost of building one device, divided into $260 for the software and $240 for the hardware, and selling it for $1,000. Thank you. So we ask you judges to help us in making the viewing experience not just accessible, but also immersive. We are open to questions.